Hi everyone. This is Marina and Sam, and I actually found Sam through her Instagram, which I will post below if you want to contact her afterwards. And I'm so excited to have her with me today because I think that the vegan diet and especially the raw vegan lifestyle is a great way to heal from disease. And this is why I was so excited to see Sam's Instagram. And thankfully, she agreed to this interview to tell you more about how she has healed from disease through nutrition. Sam, will you just introduce yourself? How old are you? What do you do? Just the basics.
Sure. So my name is Sam, and I'm a senior in college. I go to college at a school in a small liberal arts school in the South. I also play soccer in college, and I'm the
Mm-hmm.
captain of my team. Um, what else? I love music as well. I'm a singer-songwriter on the side, and
Cool.
yeah, those are my main interests. Plus, being a raw vegan and nutrition and making food and stuff.
That's awesome. What do you study in
Yeah.
school?
I'm a sociology major.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to say I'm 21 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I plan, hopefully to be either an organic farmer or health coach with that degree,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah,
That's awesome. Lots of
yeah,
interests. Very cool. So tell me a little bit about, your disease and how long you were sick before you became a raw vegan or just looked into nutrition and stuff like that.
yeah. So I got diagnosed with Crohn's disease when I was 14. I was a freshman in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd always kind of been sick. I always had something, pneumonia or just stomach aches in general. I wasn't an unhealthy child, but I was on medicine for animal allergies, and then around fourth grade, my mom took me to the doctor because my stomach was really hurting, and he basically took me off of dairy, and obviously that helped a lot, and I felt a lot better. So he was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Okay, you're just lactose intolerant." And then things started getting worse, and I started taking those lactose pills to try to help, and obviously they didn't really work. And then by the time I was a freshman in high school, I was only 73 pounds.
Wow.
And yeah, and I stopped eating. And I'm an athlete, so that was really
That's
hard.
really thin for an athlete, especially.
Yeah, it was really tough. And so my mom took me to the doctor, and about a couple months worth of tests, colonoscopies, all that kind of stuff. They told me that I have Crohn's disease,
Mm-hmm.
and it runs in my family. My aunt has it. My
Mm.
and everyone in between has some sort of irritable bowel syndrome. So it wasn't a huge surprise, but it was pretty. I mean, obviously, it was pretty upsetting news. But then my mom and I kind of worked with my diet and put me on essentially the white diet, which is like white bread, sliced turkey, like white fish, rice, and potatoes, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was on this diet for about 5 years. So I didn't really eat fruits or vegetables for 5 years, and
So why did you? Well, first I want to ask you really quickly if you can say
yeah,
what Crohn's disease is for people who don't know.
sure. So Crohn's disease is an autoimmune disease. Um, it's in the same family as lupus, diabetes, all those celiac disease, all those other autoimmune diseases. Where, as I understand it, your body kind of fights itself, like your digestive system kind of fights itself,
Mm-hmm.
and it gets really inflamed, kind of like when you sprain an ankle,
Mm-hmm.
um, and so it can cause a lot of pain and discomfort and sickness.
Mm-hmm. And so, thank you. And why did you go on the white diet? Who recommended it? Where did that idea come from?
Uh, my mom and I just, the doctors at this time still were saying that food has nothing to do with Crohn's disease.
Mm-hmm.
So we were kind of they put the doctors were putting me on medicine, and my mom and I were kind of just working with my diet to see what I could tolerate. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously,
So it
because
was your idea to go to look into diet. Nobody from the medical field.
right,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they still there's still a lot of doctors that say that food has nothing to do with Crohn's disease, which I can't believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, okay, so actually, my next question was, did you try different methods? So, before going into veganism and raw veganism, so you're saying the white diet, which is white foods and bread and stuff like that, and medication, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I was on like up to 20 pills a day in high school.
Wow.
Yeah.
And did you try anything else? How did those things affect your body?
Well, the white diet allowed me to not be sick all the time, not have to go to the bathroom all the time, and it also allowed me to gain weight, which was like obviously very needed.
Mm-hmm.
The medication really messed with me. I was on all kinds of stuff like steroids, and a year after I got diagnosed with Crohn's, I started getting chronic migraines. I'm not sure what this is linked to. It might be linked to the white diet I was on or the medication or something. But I started giving myself shots, and they put me on like serious medicine for that. So that was really rough as well. And the more medicine they put you on, the more medicine you have to keep taking, and it just kind of
To
like
counteract the side effects of the other stuff?
right. And but it was good. It allowed me like not just be constantly sick all the time, which was good. And then when I was a sophomore in high school, so I was like, I think I was 19. I mean, in college, a sophomore in college. I tried eating some bananas and apples, and I could tolerate it. So I was like, oh, what else can I eat? And then I tried eating like a little salad, and I was like, this is so exciting. I'm like tolerating these foods. And then
Why were you attracted to that? I mean, why did you even have that idea? Oh, I'll try an apple. Because I mean, I have a lot of friends around me that have Crohn's, and they are like, do no raw veggies, no raw fruit. So what was the thought process?
um, I've always been like very connected to nature naturally, and it felt so wrong for me to like rely on processed foods and medicine, and not a fan of taking medicine. Um, and so and at the same time, like I was starting to get stocked up for the first time in my life because um, of the diet I was on, and I think I was like healed enough to where I didn't just I don't think my intestines were like inherently that damaged anymore. And so I felt better, and I was like, why am I still eating processed foods if I don't know. I don't know, it's like confusing because processed food should make you sick, but like it got me to the point where I wasn't super sick all the time. And then I was like, let's try these other things because what I'm doing now is very, it's unhealthy basically.
So you felt like, I mean, I just know this from my family because my mom had IC, interstitial cystitis. I don't know if you've heard about it. And she used to eat chocolate chips all the time, and she'd be like, that is what helps me. So obviously not, but it's kind of like what you're saying. And I guess from what I hear from you, you got to a point where you weren't in pain all the time, so then you could think clearly and you could consider other options. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, what I think the white food diet is, it kind of numbs that and medication. It numbs symptoms. It doesn't heal you and it doesn't cure you, but it like helps numb symptoms. So it's not healthy and it's not good for you, but it helps. I don't know. It just helps you not be like super sick.
Survive day to day.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of like medication, so you don't thrive on it, but at least you're functioning.
Right. Exactly.
So on your Instagram, you call yourself a Crohn's thriver, which I really liked, and I just wanted you to say a little bit about that.
Yeah. I'm really, really grateful for having Crohn's disease and my other illnesses like migraines and stuff because it's led me to being a raw vegan, and I love this lifestyle so much. And as you know, like it just when you become raw, like it, and just vegan in general, it kind of like it guides you. Like all your stars kind of align when it happens, and it's really interesting. And other people have very similar experiences to this, and my whole life has kind of changed for the better, and I've found a lot of clarity, and so I'm so grateful that Crohn's disease has led me to this. And I also think that I really believe this, and I talked to my aunt with Crohn's disease too, and I really believe Crohn's disease is like my body reacting to bad foods, and my body telling me, hey, you shouldn't be eating this, you shouldn't be eating this. And just the sensitivity is a good thing, because it's letting me know what I'm doing wrong. And so so I think that having Crohn's disease has made me a much stronger person, and it has me to where I've always wanted to be without realizing it.
You don't spend time just being angry at the fact that you had it for so long and suffered so much?
Most of my anger is with the agricultural community and the medical community, because so many people are suffering and they don't know why, and I don't think it's fair what they're doing, knowing I believe that they know what they're doing, and so like almost all my anger resides there. But I don't have any anger with the way that my life has turned out, because I'm happy where I am.
That's very inspiring. Really.
Thank you.
It really is. How did you get to raw veganism from the white diet, the pills, and over here?
Yeah, so I started trying to eat fruits and vegetables a little bit more and more. And then once I realized I wasn't kind of like stuck eating the white diet anymore, I started doing research on healthy eating, and I started trying to cut out, processed foods. I was still eating in the cafeteria at school, which we have a good cafeteria, but I was still getting like sandwiches every day. I would just put like steamed green beans and stuff on the side. And then once the semester ended and I went home, I was like I'm really gonna go for it. So I really cut out. I basically went on like a whole foods diet where I ate just like each food as a single ingredient, but I was still eating.
So were you doing mono meals?
No. I was just doing like as opposed to buying cereal, I buy like buckwheat and then make my own almond milk and put that in there, and then like chop up bananas.
So you knew exactly what you were putting in your food. It wasn't anything even slightly processed.
Exactly. But at this point, I was still eating chicken and fish and eggs and honey, and so I did that for about 3 or 4 months, and I felt good, but I still wasn't where I wanted to be. And then I've never wanted to I love animals. I've never wanted to eat them, and the meat was just starting to really get to me, and I just didn't want to eat it anymore, and it wasn't making me feel good. And so I researched why vegans don't eat eggs and fish, because that was kind of just what I was left eating. And I found a video online, and I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm going vegan. And this was in the middle of soccer season.
Wow.
So it was pretty scary, yeah.
Yeah. And you were a junior at this point, right?
Yeah, I was a junior. And so then season ended, and 3 days later, while I was looking on YouTube for vegan recipes or something, I found a FullyRaw Kristina, and that took me on a journey through the whole night. I just kept watching her videos, and I woke up the next morning and I was like, wow, I'm really gonna try this. So I did, and I just decided to take it day by day, and I just have taken it day by day, and here I am almost a year later.
And how were you doing this in college? I mean, it's crazy because because a lot of people struggle doing this even at their house when they have everything they need. And how did you do it? How do you do it now?
Yeah, well, upperclassmen at my school get their own apartment, I have a roommate, but so I have my own kitchen, which is super helpful. But honestly, I get all my produce from Kroger. I try to get it from local farms, but it's winter now, and they just...
Too cold.
Yeah, they don't have much. So I get all my food from Kroger. I go to Kroger once or twice a week and get some bananas and dates and, lettuce and all my fruits and veggies and stuff.
So what is Kroger? Sorry, I'm on the West Coast here.
Sorry. It's just your typical grocery store.
Okay.
It's not super nice. They're starting to grow their like organic section, but it's just a very typical grocery store.
Basic.
Yeah. We also have Walmart, but I refuse to shop there. So, and there's a Whole Foods 45 minutes away.
Oh, that's far.
Yeah. So my roommate and I go like once a month, just for fun stuff.
Nice. You know, you can also order online, you know, for whatever extras.
Yeah, I've been looking at getting some persimmons online, but they're kind of expensive, so I'm going to have to treat myself.
So is your roommate also a vegan?
She's not. She does struggle from stomach issues. She is gluten-free. She's starting to go more like vegetarian, vegan. She's trying to figure things out, but her stomach and her head have similar symptoms to what I had, so I'm trying to help her, but I don't want to be pushy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so you have a full kitchen and you have a blender and stuff like that, or just?
Yeah, I do. I have a full kitchen and a blender, which is super nice, but last semester I actually did my like study abroad. It's not really abroad, but in Hawaii.
Wow.
And, yeah, it was amazing. And I had I had a roommate who never eaten a salad in her life.
Wow.
She ate purely processed foods, and we lived in a room about the size of the room I'm in now. It was tiny. It was a tiny little dorm room. We had a bathroom and a mini fridge and a kitchen sink, and that was it.
It's like the typical college dorm room when you're a freshman, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so I had to share a mini with her, and she was, she had milk in there, she was making bacon, all that kinds of stuff, and I used my desk to chop vegetables, and I kept my vegetables on my desk, and we had a patio, thank God, and that's where I kept all my fruit out in a box on the patio.
Wow.
But, yeah, I made it work. You just make it work,
Wow. Do you have any tips for, college students? I know that FullyRaw, Kristina actually has a video on that, on how she was raw in college and just stuffed the bananas in her room and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips for college students?
My biggest tip would be not to keep it, and like people, if you're open to it and really explain where you're coming from, most people who are college students will be very accepting of this and interested in it and will be helpful. And like obviously at first I kept it a secret because you don't know, if it's gonna pan out or anything. But now that I'm very open about it, my teammates are really supportive and they all want to try my food, and they help me carry fruit on the road and stuff. And my roommate's very supportive, and that way you're not like isolating yourself, and you're more like welcoming people into your lifestyle. And I think that's the biggest thing. You make the food work.
How do you make that work? That part of it. So when you were in Hawaii and you had the really small room, you would. Yeah. So I figure you stored the fruit on the patio, and then you would get vegetables daily, or how did that work?
Yeah. The good part about Hawaii is there's a ton of farmers markets.
Yeah.
So I would try. I would say I did one big run. I found this amazing vegetarian grocery store at it was on Oahu, and it was called Down to Earth. And so I would go there. It took me 2 buses to get there. And
wow.
I would get everything but bananas, and I'd get most of my vegetables there, and dates. And then I would stop at farmers markets for like mangoes and papayas every once in a while, and for some certain greens. But I got banana. There was a grocery store close by that had organic bananas, so I'd get bananas from there and just make it work. Sometimes I would get like nervous or scared that I was going to run out of food, which was so silly because there's food everywhere, and it was just like a little irrational thought I would have. But I think big runs make it a lot less stressful because then you have ripe fruit during the week, and you don't have to worry about going to the grocery store every day. But sometimes I have to go just in between for little things.
It's also hard to carry all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I would get questions all the time on the bus, like what are you doing with bananas? And, I had like 2 or 3 huge bags on me, but then you get a workout out of it. So.
That's true.
Yeah.
And you started talking a little bit about friends. So I wanted to ask you about, going out to eat, and a lot of our culture is around food, as I'm sure you also experience. So how do you deal with that?
Well, when my parents love eating out,
Mm-hmm.
so we do two things. We either find a raw vegan restaurant where we are, they're super fun to like find and eat at, and I haven't really been able to order whatever I wanted to, let's say off of a menu since school. So it's really fun for me to go to those, and or if they go to a different one, my parents like the local farm to table kind of movement. So I just get like a salad with greens and some maybe chopped tomatoes and pineapple or avocado or something.
So you tell them exactly what you want in your salad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time what I do is I bring my own food, and restaurants are oddly like okay with this. So my sister got married this summer, so for all of her, um, you know, wedding shower stuff, I would just bring my own food, and everyone was all right with it.
Would you say anything, or I'm just asking for other
For other
people?
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you do?
I usually call ahead and let the restaurant know that I'm bringing. It's just fruits and vegetables, and there shouldn't be any allergies or anything. And a lot of times you can bring like stuff into them, and then the kitchen will make you something. So, which is kind of fun because then you get something a little bit different.
That is a cool idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, what it sounds like to me is that a lot of people who do this have not been sick, and so they're not as motivated as you are. I think
Right.
that you're so motivated because you know the price of what would happen if you were to eat differently.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you've been a raw vegan for about a year? A little.
Yeah, almost a year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And how do what has it done for your Crohn's? What's going on with that?
Yeah. Well, I consider myself totally cured. I don't have
You do.
any symptoms at all. I mean, there's 20 years of damage done to my intestines, so it does take time to heal and time to get rid of cravings and detox your body and everything. But I would say after like 3 months of being like fully raw, that all my symptoms had totally like disappeared, and my worst symptoms were like gas and bloating, and that was what made me realize like the white diet, it couldn't have been it, because I wasn't feeling like optimal. I just wasn't getting sick all the time.
Mm.
And the gas and bloating it was a bad problem for my self-esteem because I didn't like the way that I looked, and I didn't feel like it was natural, and it didn't make sense to me that foods were making me sick. And gas is obviously a problem, and it's embarrassing, and so it can be isolating to have that problem. And I've tried everything from this medication to that medication, peppermint oil, peppermint pills, all kinds of stuff, and nothing has gotten rid of my bloating besides being raw.
Mm-hmm.
There's not been anything. Yeah. So that's been my I think biggest reward for my Crohn's disease, to not have to worry about gas and bloating all the time, because that affected me every single day.
Yeah.
And I don't have flare-ups anymore or anything like that. I'm on absolutely no medicine. I'm on
Wow.
medicine. Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Yeah, so and I was on medicine for allergies, for migraines. I was on some serious medicine for that, and Crohn's disease, and I had really, really, really bad acid reflux. Like really, I would cry on the floor it would just burn so badly, and that medicine was really expensive too, and it was hard getting off of it, because like the first like 3 weeks you're off of like this particular medicine, it like really is like the worst it can be. And then
Because you have acid really bad, or because your body is kind of dealing with not taking the medicine?
it's your body not dealing with taking the medicine, and
It's like kind of a detox, I would say, right?
yeah, absolutely. And for sure, like monomealing and food combining has helped a lot with acid reflux, I've noticed. So yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. That makes me really happy to hear.
Oh, thank you.
You're your own doctor.
I know. It's great.
Yeah. So, you didn't do any kind of detox, water fasting, juice fasting. What was the transition like from unprocessed to raw vegan?
Um, so when I woke up the morning I decided I was going to try the raw thing, I tried eating like a banana breakfast. So I got up to 4 bananas,
And then
which
you're
I
like,
would,
I can't do
yeah,
it
I would eat like 12 in a meal if I'm really hungry. But yeah, I got up to 4 bananas, and I was like kind of going to the bathroom all day. I wasn't in any pain or anything. Like, because I did my research, I knew, okay, this is detox. This is your body flushing out everything that, the fruit is kind of running into. And it was November, so I ate a lot of dates because they were in season and they're easy to digest and they don't have to be ripe because I was having a hard time keeping ripe bananas. And I ate a lot of and I had so much energy, but I would like kind of wake up in the middle of the night hungry because I couldn't get enough calories. Because I mean that's like every raw vegan's problem at first. Um,
And
and I
also
didn't
the
really,
feeling of not being super full, I guess. It's a kind of a different full
yeah,
feeling.
yeah, and I was having a hard time just getting enough calories because I couldn't eat my 10 bananas in a meal or whatever. And I was working out a lot because soccer had just ended and I had a lot of energy and from like trying raw diet. And um, I didn't really I tried eating vegetables, but I didn't really have a taste for them yet. And I was trying some like dishes I found online, but it just wasn't satisfying. So I would just mostly eat like a smoothie with some celery and greens in it for dinner because I didn't want salads yet. And now salads are like my absolute favorite food. So yeah, just it takes your body and your taste palate sometimes to get used to.
Hmm. So, can you describe a typical day for you now?
Yeah. Um, so it's almost winter, so I lost my mangoes, but
Mm.
I don't know. Okay, so yesterday I had like 1.5 to like 2 large papayas for breakfast, um, which are really good, and those are really helpful for digestion. Just FYI.
Do you have
Um,
the seeds as well or no?
I save them and put them in like salad dressing sometimes because I
Mm.
think they're good for like for getting rid of parasites.
Parasites, yeah.
Yeah. And then for lunch I had like 7 or 8 bananas and like 5 dates.
Hmm.
Really ripe bananas. The more ripe the bananas, for sure, the better they sit with me. And they're obviously way more delicious when they're ripe too.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah. And then on Tuesdays we don't have soccer until 6, so I don't get home till like 8:30, and it's too long to go between lunch and dinner. So around like 4:30 before practice, I had some dates and celery. It's a good combination, the sweet and salty.
How many? Just for people to kind
Yeah.
of.
Um, how many? I probably had like 7 to 10 dates and like
Hmm.
probably like 5 or 6 stalks of celery. And then I got home from soccer and made dinner. And I hate eating this late, but it only is twice with late practices. And so around 9, I had a really, really, really good salad with some on top and a raw marinara sauce I've been making. That's really good. Yeah,
Awesome.
and some
Big bowl. A lot of
a
lettuce.
lot of yeah. It was probably like 1.5 heads of greens, some arugula, and like 2 zucchini probably. And I also put some carrots in there. Yeah.
And you don't have a juicer.
So I make juice a lot in the mornings when I have free time,
Mm.
or on Tuesdays and Thursdays my classes go from 8 to 11, and so I get hungry because it's too early for me to eat breakfast. So I just make green juice and sip on it during class to hold me over.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Wow.
and green juice is amazing. It like gives you a high. It's awesome.
Yeah. And so when you transitioned overnight, did you have any discomfort or pain from the Crohn's, from this kind of food, all this fiber and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it was a lot of going to the bathroom, and I was thinking to myself, why am I doing this? If I that was what I was trying to get away from, but it wasn't painful. It was just eliminating and detoxing. Um, and I was bloated, but I mean, you're eating a lot of volume at once and a lot of water, and your body's
Hmm.
not used to that. And sometimes I'd have a little bit of pain, but not like bad pain. It wasn't pain, it was discomfort, mostly with like grapes were in season, so I was trying to eat a lot of grapes, and grapes even now, I still can't eat like 2 full bags of grapes. I don't know, there's something about them, but I usually eat like a half a bag to 1 bag if I'm going to eat them.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just trying to get used to it, but it wasn't anything like super painful. My biggest problem was waking up in the middle of the night hungry because I had enough calories at first. But I was experiencing a little bit of headache detox,
Mm-hmm.
and the weirdest part was I broke out my skin. I had some acne in high school, nothing major, just a little bit of teenage pubescent like acne, and my whole face and chest and back broke out worse than they ever had. And I trusted Kristina that this was detox, and that lasted for about like a month.
Wow.
And, yeah, that was the weirdest part, and I had it like here, and I never had acne there before. So, but it's gone now. It went away after like a month, and my face has been very clear since. So yeah.
That's a lot of trust.
Yeah.
Trusting the process.
Yeah, it felt right. There's something about it that, because for months I'd been searching for the natural human diet. I was like, why does nobody know what the natural human diet was?
Mm-hmm.
I'd look up modern hunter-gatherer diets and all kinds of stuff, and I couldn't find anything. And then I was like, wow, this is the natural human diet. This makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just went for it.
Yeah. And you think also that so it was instinct that made you stick around with it, right?
I think so. Yeah.
And also just the pain that you experienced, or the disease, and trying to heal from that.
Yeah, I hate being sick. I absolutely hate it, and I'm like a high energy kind of person,
And very active and athletic.
And my body requires a lot because of being a college athlete, and I hated in high school my senior year sitting at home for like months in a dark room because I had migraines and my stomach would hurt, and the combination of migraines and Crohn's disease just put me over the top. It was too much. And
where would you? How severe was it really? I mean, if you would say from 1 to 10, 10 being worst, how severe was the pain or the Crohn's and the migraines?
The Crohn's disease, it could get pretty bad, but I really, really, really watched I was very careful about what I ate. I wouldn't eat any dairy or anything oily. I didn't eat oil at all. So I was careful, so I didn't get sick that much, but I usually got sick around finals when I was really stressed out. Or just like I'd randomly get sick. I don't know. I would give it between a 5 and a 7, depending on the time of the year and my mood and what I was doing.
For the pain that you were experiencing?
The pain, I mean, I remember trying to eat a rotisserie chicken when I was like a sophomore in high school. So I was like 15. And I think I blacked out from being in so much pain.
Wow.
Because it was very, and maybe there was butter on it, I don't know. But, I mean, I have to ask my aunt with Crohn's, but I can't imagine, I mean, childbirth being like where it's so much pain. It's horrible.
Oh my God.
And the migraines would be like an 8 to a 10. Oof. But the problem with migraines are they're completely debilitating. And
you can't think, you can't function.
You can't do anything, yeah. And mine would just be chronic, so they would get worse or better at times, but they would always be there for months. And it was hard for me. It hurt my social life. It hurt my athleticism. And yeah, it was a struggle.
So your doctors would also say, you have serious Crohn's or you have a mild case. How did they see it?
My doctors would say it was about medium. My aunt's Crohn's disease was severe. She had 7 surgeries growing up, but she didn't have. She ate kind of just like what was available. And so I truly believe my Crohn's disease would have been severe, and I would have had to have surgeries and all that if I did not watch my diet.
Is she doing anything, any kind of transition like you? Have you inspired her?
Yeah, feels very good right now.
Mm-hmm.
She's been figuring things out as she's gotten older, and she she's really interested in the vegan thing. I've kind of turned her on to it, and so I just visited her a couple months ago. So she was like eating with me, and her and I went to a vegan restaurant, and so she's really interested in it. But I haven't. We don't talk every day, so I'm not exactly sure what
Mm-hmm.
she's eating. But she's definitely interested in it.
That's great.
Yeah.
And when you go to raw vegan restaurants, I mean, they use a lot of salt and spices that maybe
Yeah.
you're not used to. How does that affect you, or what do you do in those situations?
Yeah, I mean, eating like gourmet raw food isn't the best option. It's something I do every once in a while, and I never eat the leftovers. I only do it like one night, and then in the morning I'll have like melon or green juice or something. Um, I don't eat that many nuts and seeds. I usually get my fats from avocado and coconut because it sits better.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like a little bit more bloated. Plus, it's like a lot of fat. So usually the next day I'm like really full. Um, the salt doesn't seem to have that much of an impact on me that I've noticed. I just get a little bit thirstier, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, and I try not to stuff. I try to always get like a big salad, so I'm
Yeah.
not stuffing my face. But I don't know.
So
Sometimes
it's a treat.
it's definitely a treat.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's okay to do every once in a while.
Absolutely, yeah.
And how has your relationship with your doctors been? I mean, what do they think about what you're doing now, if you're in touch with them? And because I know from a good friend of mine that she's very connected to her doctor, and everything she does, he knows about it. So I'm wondering.
Yeah, well, okay, so after going through a few doctors um, through like my teenage years,
Mm-hmm.
we found a doctor who is a family doctor but specializes in gastroenterology, and he's very open-minded for both Western medicine and Eastern medicine. Um, and he kind of helped me get off steroids and all the really nasty drugs and just onto some like not as intense
Mm-hmm.
drugs. And I haven't seen him since I went raw, mostly because I travel a lot and I'm in school away from home. But my mom is one of those people, their doctor, everything, and who calls a doctor if we got like a scratch on her finger or something. So she has talked to him because she also sees him,
Mm-hmm.
and she's called him because she's been worried. Like, should my daughter be eating pasta? Like, she's working out a lot, and I'm worried a little bit. And he's like, the raw diet has worked for a lot of people. I think he said just make sure she's eating nuts and seeds, which is whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
he's been open to it. I haven't seen him. I want to go see him. I want to get my blood taken, just in case, or just kind of to show people that I'm all right. But he's been really receptive to it, which has been really nice. But I haven't seen him since I went raw.
But that's amazing,
Yeah, he's a great doctor.
Yeah.
I'm really happy because I've had doctors in the past at like big universities or hospitals or whatever that have been like that we've called when I've been having a flare up, and they're like, oh, put some butter on toast and stuff, and it's like, I haven't eaten dairy since I was like 9 years old. What do you
Yeah.
and gluten is an irritant. I don't know. Doctors have been very frustrating.
Yeah, but this just proves that there are, great ones to talk
Yeah,
to. I mean,
absolutely.
we can be our own doctors. Obviously, I totally believe in that, but it's so good to be in such a good relationship with a doctor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you take any supplements or anything?
No, the only things I would think about taking are probiotics, but I don't really need them, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like spending money on it. And the other thing I've researched is B12, which is
Mm-hmm.
obviously something that vegans. There's a lot that a lot of Americans are B12 deficient.
Yeah. Actually, it doesn't matter if you're vegan or not. The percent is pretty
Right.
similar.
And I understand the B12 has become a problem because of soil degradation more than
Mm-hmm.
anything. So sometimes if I get like organic produce, I leave some dirt on it or something, which I don't know if is the best, um, but I feel good. I should get tested for it just because our food is just our soil's been
depleted.
Yeah. And but I'm all right so far. My sister went vegetarian, and right when she went vegetarian, she got her blood tested, and she was B12 deficient. So she's taking supplements. But I mean, I'd be open to taking a B12 supplement if I was low.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to do it more naturally through growing my own food or something.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to get tested. I mean, it's a little complicated. So I know, with the blood tests, there's certain things that you need to test for. But I would recommend, if you haven't seen, Don Bennett talks about this, how to get tested for B12. He's really great. Yeah, so he kind of says like which tests we should do to find out. But you actually can't overdose on B12, so that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
And then vitamin D. You don't have sun right now, do you?
Oh, I haven't thought about that. I feel like I get a lot. I mean, I feel like I can get that through my food, and I love spending time outside. So even though it's like a hurricane right now, because all the like bad weather's being pushed towards us because of the hurricane in Mexico, but but I love hiking, and I'm outside every day for soccer, and I love being in the sun. So I think I'm alright, but I don't know. I eat my oranges and bananas and stuff. So
you can test it out in the future and see if you are deficient.
Yeah.
Are there any tips that you would have for people who have Crohn's right now and they want to try this out? What should they do and how?
Yeah. I think for someone with severe Crohn's disease, and even people with mild, but for sure severe, this should be a journey. It shouldn't be immediate. Your body needs time to adjust, especially your intestines, because they're damaged and inflamed. And so I would definitely go vegan first off, because getting off of dairy and meats and eggs, those things are all going to exacerbate your symptoms. So it'll be really helpful to get off of them. I don't recommend having raw vegetables at first.
Yeah.
I think there definitely needs to be a transition period. I would focus on like low fat. Seeds and nuts aren't necessary, and if they bother you, don't do that. I've been off of oil since I was 14, so that's not something that you should be, eating.
It's very processed.
It's very processed, and fats have always been hard on my stomach. And so I would focus on eating as many fruits and steamed vegetables as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Easy fruits, like stuff without seeds, is going to be best, like bananas and papayas and pears and apples. Maybe take the skin off of it first.
Mm-hmm.
And next I would go to, if you can, I have a hard time with potatoes and rice, but if you can tolerate that, steamed potatoes and rice and other
steamed veggies,
and try to get as many carbs as you can that way. But definitely fruit is like your best option, but it definitely is going to take adjustment. And then listen to your body, watch your body heal, see what it needs. Keep upping your levels of raw fruit, and try to introduce some vegetables, like maybe some spinach and romaine. Those things are easy. Try to stay away from like broccoli, cauliflower, and
because of all the fiber.
Yeah, those can be like tougher on like your digestive system, like things that are what am I thinking? Brussels sprouts and stuff. That's
cruciferous.
Right. Thank you. So just try to stay with like leafy greens, and then just work your way up, and just keep going. And if you get scared or need advice, you can contact me.
That'd be great. I will put your email down below for people to talk to you. And with green juices, is that also something people can do? So unfortunately, the video was stopped, the recording. So I just wanted to add some things that Sam told me afterwards on our Skype call that were really important. We stopped right at the point where she was talking about green juices for Crohn's patients, and she said those are great. You should just drink them slowly and always do it before meals and not after. And another good way to transition to the raw vegan diet is through doing Banana Island. which is just having bananas all day long, and that is a good way to transition to starting a raw vegan lifestyle. And then I asked her some resources that she recommends for people to read or watch that can help them with the transition, and I will definitely post them down below. But she recommended David Klein's book, Self-Healing, Colitis and Crohn's, and he just describes how to transition really, really well for those patients to a raw vegan lifestyle. Then the 80-10-10 diet by Dr. Doug Graham, that's kind of a classic that talks about the 80-10-10 diet. And then the China Study is a book talking about veganism and its benefits, and a really huge study done in China related to that. And then also some films were Forks Over Knives, Cowspiracy, and Earthlings. Those are just some films that you can watch. And she mentioned Kristina's YouTube channel, which really supported her and guided her through the process. And I will link all of those down below. And then I just asked her if there's anything else she would like to add. And she said that it's really important for her to say that raw veganism is not just a diet, and it changes your whole life and your outlook on life, and it brings a spiritual and mental clarity that is really hard to reach on any other lifestyle. So I really love that she said that. I fully support it as well. And I actually told her this, but I just want to say that I find her extremely inspiring and so thankful that she agreed to this interview, because I really want to get this out there, get this information for people who are sick. And I just really want you to consider this path, and I want you to consider healing through your own methods, your own hands, rather than going to a doctor and taking a lot of pills. And not that I don't support, going to conventional doctors. You can do both, but this is just an amazing alternative. And this story is so inspiring, and just someone that is considering Crohn's a good thing that happened to her. And I really want to talk about that in the future, because this is how I view disease as well. So let that be an inspiration to all. I think that Sam is an amazing young woman. She's only 21. It is unbelievable. She's so wise, and she's done such an amazing thing for herself. And I am hoping that through this video she can inspire others. If you have any questions for her, please email her or check out her Instagram for inspiration. And I will also post all those details below the video. Thank you so much for watching. It was definitely a learning experience for me too, and so inspiring. And I'm just really humbled to meet these kinds of people. So thanks, Sam, and I hope to meet you in person soon. Have a great day, anyone who watches this, and see you next time. Bye bye.